Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kate, or I go by AlwaysMoreSims here on YouTube, and today is the last day of my week of WoW for The Sims 4 Adventure Awaits. So, I don't really know how I want to start this. The pack itself, in like the whole concept of it, the whole point of it, really rubs me the wrong way. And it's something that I have talked about a couple of times on my channel so far, and I do want to talk about it again. And I apologize if I'm annoying anybody. They're like, "Kate, you've already talked about this. We already know how you feel." But I don't like. It's just something I'm really struggling to get past. Regardless of how I feel about the expansion pack. So one of the very first packs released in The Sims 4 was a game, or it was a game pack. Oh my gosh, what were they called? They're stuff packs. It was, oh my goodness, game pack. Sure, we like affection. What else are they called? Sims 4 stuff. No, not. What was it called? Game. It is a game pack. That just doesn't sound right. That does not sound. Yeah, it does not sound. Oh my goodness. Hello. Anyways, Outdoor Retreat was one of the. No, it was the game's first game pack, which The Sims 4 has really moved away from game packs, and that is something that's been talked about. But basically, if you're unfamiliar. The Sims 4 originally had like 3 tiers of DLC. Well, no, I guess you could say 4 tiers, because they do free updates now. So they had like free updates, then you have stuff packs, which, well, I guess, no, at this point you could say 5. So we had free DLC, then you have kits. Kits target a very like niche style. Originally there were gameplay, cast, and build by. They only ever did one gameplay kit. I think it was deemed a failure, despite the fact I actually quite like Bust the Dust. I know it can be glitchy and kind of annoying at times, but I like the realism of Bust the Dust. But anyways, and I think they could have done so much. Anyways, they only ever had the one gameplay kit, and then they had the cast and build by kits, and again they target like a very niche thing, like a specific type of clothes, a specific room of decoration, like kitchen clutter, or stuff for your greenhouse, or if it's like like the industrial loft, the book nook, whatever it was called, like different, like there was a gamer one. Okay, like, so the kits target very specific things. Stuff packs a little broader. They covered a little bit more. It's like we had the paranormal stuff pack, which was actually quite big as a stuff pack. That one came with, oh my gosh, I didn't play the new career. I just realized that. Okay, my bad. My bad. I meant to have River join that career. Anyways, and we didn't get to look at the geyser. Aw, here I was thinking I did so good with like hitting a majority of the stuff. Anyways, paranormal stuff pack came with the paranormal investigator career. It came with like a new skill, bunch of items, bunch of casts. Okay, so like it comes with a decent amount of stuff. Then you have a game pack, slightly broader. The game packs for a while are where the occults were introduced, like vampires, werewolves, realm of magic. But then we also had Outdoor Retreat. So I had a little bit more than the stuff pack. Some of them have come with worlds. They're normally pretty small worlds, but have still come with worlds. Again, some have come with the new occult types, careers, traits, just a little bit bigger, but not as big as an expansion pack, which is then the next tier up. You have the expansion packs, which are supposed to be like a lot bigger. Supposed to have 1 to 2 careers, normally a couple of death types, normally a couple woohoo types. I guess I shouldn't say we've had a life stage introduced. Infants and toddlers are both technically free updates. So disregard that statement. But, and they normally focus on they're supposed to at least, a wider spectrum pertaining to a certain idea. So, we had life and death focused on, we got, flushed out ghosts, we got funerals, we got tarot cards, we got, what else did we get? You got the pet raven, you got the death types, you got the woohoo types, you got the grim career, the grim turn career, you got the undertaker career. You got quite a few things in life and death. We got a new world, and it was a big world. We got wills. Okay, so expansion packs are supposed to come with a lot. So anyways, whole tangent was to explain that at the very beginning, The Sims 4 only had the 4 tiers, if you want to count that free holiday update we got way long ago. Someone's phone's going off. The point is, Outdoor Retreat was one of the first packs released for The Sims 4, and the whole point of Outdoor Retreat is to take your Sims on a vacation out into the wilderness. They can camp, they can, cook over a fire. There's Sims dressed in bear costumes. You're going on a vacation though, and it's even it has its own little vacation world called Granite Falls. And your Sims plan a vacation, they go for a couple of days, then they come back, okay? So then we have, this pack was announced, the trailer dropped. And the moment I saw it, I was like, this is just a newer, bigger version of Outdoor Retreat. And this is becoming a pattern for The Sims 4. Because businesses and hobbies, to me, again, this is my opinion, you may feel differently. Businesses and hobbies is a newer, bigger version of The Sims 4 Get to Work, which was The Sims 4's first expansion pack. So for them to have released 2 expansion packs within a year that are basically newer, bigger versions of packs they already released really frustrates me. Especially because they've shown that they can do pack refreshes. They did it with The Sims 4 Spa Day, where they added in a few more new features. And while I don't think it performed as well as they'd hoped, I think they'd hoped that it would draw a lot more people into The Sims 4 Spa Day. I also think they gave up on it too soon, and that would have been a better thing to do with, businesses and hobbies and Get to Work. Oh no. I think it would have been better to do that, to have businesses and hobbies basically be a more flushed out version of Get to Work. I think this pack should have been a flushed out version of Adventure or of Outdoor Retreat. So I came into this pack already really conflicted, despite thinking that the things I was seeing looked really cool. I can admit, what I was seeing in the trailers, for the most part, really impressed me. I was like, oh, okay, this looks pretty cool. Which was actually really nice to feel since Enchanted by Nature came out. Enchanted by Nature is one of the first packs I have not gotten. No, is the first pack I have not gotten since Paranormal Stuff came out a few years ago. And, oh my gosh, the water's so pretty. And there have been packs that have dropped that I have not been interested in, but Enchanted by Nature was the first one that I was like, no, I don't care about this pack at all. I've not heard good things about it. I've seen a lot of people this is the one pack I wish I hadn't bought. So I'm glad I didn't get it. But with Adventure Awaits, I was like, okay, I could see this being really cool, but at the same time, I am really bothered by this basically being a reskinned Outdoor Retreat, just 10 times nicer. So I wanted to kind of get that off my chest, get that out of the way, that this is how I'm already feeling going into the pack. Okay, so if you don't know how my Week of WoW works, I take 5 days to go over different aspects of a pack. So day 1 is always my overview of cast, my review of cast, create a sim, how I'm feeling. I normally try to remember to look at aspirations, traits. I try to remember to look at all the different types of clothing, all the hair, all the accessories, makeup for both feminine, masculine sims for all age types. Do I always do this? No, my memory sucks. I tend to forget things, but I try, and I feel like I did pretty good this time. So day 1, again, focuses on cast. And this is probably one of my favorite, cast sets that we've gotten in a pack in a really long time. I do not know a thing about fashion. I'm not a fashionable person. I actually think most modern fashion trends suck. And I look at most people, I'm like, what are you wearing? But this is also coming from the same person that if I could, I would wear jeans and a t-shirt every day, all day, sweatshirt, my, old Converse. I am not a fashionable person in the slightest, so what do I know? But this is the first thing of cast that I've looked at most of the items and I'm like, I will totally use this. This is stuff I will use in my everyday gameplay. I loved a majority of the hairs. I liked a majority of the clothes. I was really happy to see we had more stuff for children's sims. I was kind of disappointed that we didn't have much in the way of infant and toddler clothing and hairs. And again, I get that this pack was not meant for infants and toddlers. This pack's focus was children and adults. I get that. But I still feel like with infants and toddlers still being a pretty big part of a game, maybe not as important as, your adult sims, they're still a pretty big part. And when you're not really giving us anything, the stuff we're using gets really old really fast. So I don't know. I just would always like to see a little bit more new for infants and toddlers. There was also the case of one of the skirts, so it's a skirt with shorts underneath it, for the child sims has this weird invisible sock detail to it. If you look at their shins, there's this weird invisible sock outline. And then I just felt the textures on some things were kind of odd. There were a couple items where zippers were still flat, and I feel like the Sims 4 is at a point where it shouldn't be doing that anymore. There's no reason why Sims 4 should be pushing any kind of cast items out that don't have any kind of 3D effect to them, that don't stick off the shirt, the clothing, that you can't visibly see. There's a word I'm looking for and I'm so tired that I can't remember what it is, but they shouldn't be flat. The clothes should not still be flat, especially when there's other items in the same pack that aren't flat. So I'm like, okay, you could make these items 3D, but then you can't. Anyways, but I was really happy for the most part with the cast until I realized that we only got one trait and we only got one lifetime wish. And for me, that's ridiculous for an expansion pack. For me, we should have had there's technically a child aspiration, so I guess if you wanted, you could say there's 2 aspirations. And I'm glad there's another child aspiration. So I'm not trying to, like I said in my cast video, I'm not trying to look a gift horse in the mouth. I don't want to seem unappreciative, but I also want to share my opinion and my thoughts, and this is a thought I have, that I wish we'd had 3 traits and 2 adult aspirations at minimum. I don't like how there's 1 trait, 1 adult aspiration, 1 child aspiration. I just feel like there should have been more in that regard. But I did, other than that, I was pretty content with the Create a Sim. So then day 2 took a look at the build by and the world of Gibby Point. I still cannot understand for the life of me why they went with the name Gibby Point. Like, again, Gibby makes me think of iCarly. I don't know. Anyways, so starting with build buy, my favorite parts of the build buy were the outdoor, like, playground equipment. Everything else looked like it belonged to outdoor retreat or horse ranch. The style of the items in this pack, in my humble opinion, are not unique enough. They just blend into not just one, but two other styles in different packs at least. And I used the example in my day 2 video that if you lined up a mixture of outdoor retreat, horse ranch stuff, and adventure awaits, I would have a hard time telling you what belonged to what, because they all have the same kind of rustic feel. Adventure awaits uses a lot of the like plaid, rustic wood of outdoor retreat. They use kind of the like quilted patterns that you see in horse ranch. Again, with like kind of the rustic furniture. It doesn't feel unique. It doesn't stand apart from stuff we already have. There's one chair that is basically a ripoff of a chair we already have in the base game. It just has a blanket thrown over the back of it. So like the build buy really left me wanting more. As cool as the custom playground equipment is, to me it's not enough. I mean, it's great that we have the in-ground hot tub now, and we have more, we have the diving boards, we have the water slide, but I wasn't vibing. Like, it just was lacking. It just wasn't what I was hoping for. And then again, like, I get to the point that I'm like, but then again, I don't know what to tell you to do instead. I don't know. It just was not what I was hoping. It's just too similar to what we already have. And then we took a look around the world of Gibby Point. Now, Gibby Point itself, gorgeous. Like, look at this screen right now. This is gorgeous, okay? There's the jellyfish cove, swimming with the jellies. Like, beautiful, okay? The houses, the lots really leave me wanting more. They leave a lot to be desired. A lot of them are very bland. As I kept saying in my day 2 video, they're really just meh. I don't really see a lot to them, which has me really hoping that it was not a simmer who built the lots for this, because if so, I'm sorry. I do not ever mean to tear anybody down, but in the same breath, these houses give the typical like EA builds with no personality to them. They're just bland. They're just meh. The only lot I really liked was the Camp Gibby lot. It was the only one that I was like, yeah, this is okay. This one's not too bad. And then there was one house that was on the more modern side. Almost reminded me of like the shipping container houses. That one wasn't too bad. I felt like that one had a bit more personality to it. But a lot of the other homes, they just were, again, meh. I didn't go into them looking at, oh, this is so nice. This is so cute. I love this. It's not how I reacted to any of the lots on this in this world. The world itself, beautiful. The lots, meh. The build buy, meh. Like, I'm gonna start sounding like a sheep here. Like, it just, nah. Nah, I'm not. I would not tell someone to get this pack based on just build buy or the world itself. It's pretty. It's not enough, though. So, then we move on into gameplay. So, in day 3, I focused on the fitness retreat and the, like the kids camp which was at Camp Gibby Gibby. And then we did some stuff with the imaginary friend and caught some butterflies. Both of the getaways that I experienced or that I played with in day 3 also left me wanting more. And part of that is on me. You have the option to add things to like the timetable, to like your schedule for your getaway. But I just left it as it was because I didn't want to go crazy and start adding a bunch of things and then come to realize, oh my gosh, I cannot juggle all of this. But at this, like, so I just left it. The fitness retreat lot itself is very bland. Again, it felt very EA. No personality, just lackluster. It wasn't cute. I thought like the little A-frame, like quote unquote tents were kind of nice. They were kind of a fun idea. But like the pool was smack dab in the middle, and it was just like a pool slightly out of the ground with a diving board. The like main lot or the main building with like the workout equipment and the kitchen was very empty and almost gave me kind of like sterile hospital vibes. It just was really boring. There was like no fun, exciting to it. And I was bored within the first like hour of my sim being there. I was like, okay, what else can I do? There's not a whole lot to do here. So like moving forward, I would know, okay, I need to work more stuff into the timetable or maybe take more than one sim. But I was extremely bored and I ended up ending the getaway early and going back home because I was like, I don't really care anymore. Then I went with our child sim Summer to Camp Gibby Gibby, and that wasn't too bad. That one was better. There was more stuff to do. She had a lot more fun. But like I couldn't get the hide and seek to work. It showed me where Sims were hiding because like the items would sparkle, but then like interacting with the items wouldn't reveal the Sim, and I might have been doing it wrong. That's also entirely possible. But then I'd have Sims coming in and out of their hiding spots, and it was bedtime at that point anyway. So I think I wonder if it was kind of the Sims's their pathing was like, wait, you need to go to bed. No, wait, we're playing hide and seek, but you need to go to bed, but it's hide and seek. But so I'm wondering if the NPCs were getting kind of confused, because the schedule had us all going to bed by then. But I couldn't ask another Sim to play hide and seek if a different child had already started a game of hide and seek. And then, sorry, I'm trying not to yawn. It's past my bedtime. Sure, I don't care. Leave me alone. Can't you see I'm busy? Anyways, so then we had a campfire that night, but then you get up and you do the same list of things the next day, which also very boring. I would highly recommend, if you play a getaway more than one day, to turn on the random shuffle or whatever it is in the rules category, because then it will at least randomize or reshuffle one of your events for the day. It just gets very repetitive really fast when you're doing the same list of activities every single day. So that'd be my piece of advice. I also just realized I forgot to go to the festivals, but I am kind of anti-festival in this game at this point. Even if the festival interests me, there's so many of them. I don't like festivals. I even could probably say I hate festivals. There's too many. I'm getting notifications for them nonstop. I don't care anymore. I don't want to go. So the fact that they added 4 or 5 more festivals in this pack boggles my mind. It's too many. There's too many. If you look, sorry, that was my ankle. If you look on the calendar, at the weekends, it's just lists of festivals. It's they started with just a couple of them, and I think they were received pretty well, and now they're everywhere. They are in every expansion pack. It's too much. It's ridiculous. Take them away. Like, I actually feel myself getting angry at the amount of festivals we have because they are not necessary. Oh my gosh. They're no longer fun. There's too many. You overdid it. Oh my gosh. Okay. So then we played with the imaginary friend a little bit. I ended up leaving camp early because I was like, I'm not doing the same schedule again. Went home, and the house we were in had an imaginary friend placed, and so I went ahead and named our imaginary friend Horsey and brought her to life. And I did change her from being evil to creative, which I was hoping you'd be able to, like, I would prefer that the traits were randomized. But you can pick what trait you want the toy to have. There's 4 you can choose from: evil, cheerful, goofball, and competitive. And the horse unicorn one is originally evil, but I changed her to be creative. Only your child sim can see it. You can permanently send them back to an imaginary land, or you can summon them from imaginary land if you leave, like to go to school or whatever. And yeah, I was having a hard, oh my gosh, I don't care. I was having a hard time getting the imaginary friend to actually do things with me. Like, she had to want to do it of her own free will. Otherwise she would not, like, follow me to go do, like, I wanted to go play on the jungle gym across the street with her, and she wouldn't do it until she wanted to come and do it. Like, if I tried doing it with her, it would cancel out the interaction every time. So, a little broken in that aspect, and I find them absolutely terrifying. But I do think you get to pick to have an imaginary friend. Like, they don't just show up like they do in The Sims 3. You also can only have one brought to life at a time. So you can only have one that you've chosen to bring to life. You could still own all 4 dolls, but you can only pick one to bring to life, and it's the only one that will come to life that I know of. I don't know, like, if you permanently sent one back to imaginary land, that you couldn't pick another to bring to life. I don't know. I did not try that, but just so you know. And then we caught a couple butterflies. So then day 4, my sim River entered a romance competition, and that was probably the most fun I had in this entire pack. Just because it was really chaotic. He was flirting with the sim Mark, and then, like, Mark was not really sure how he felt about us. Like, he was agreeing, and then, like, no, leave me alone, but then like accepting. I don't know. We woohooed with him once, and then we immediately turned around and started flirting with another sim, and ended up woohooing with that sim like 2 times. I don't know. River seemed to have a blast. I did end up having the shuffle turned on, so, like, it was not the same thing both days. There were still a couple of times where I was like, okay, I need something else to do right now, but I was not as bored playing that getaway as I was with the other 2. And yeah, probably the most fun I'd had of the 3 getaways. And then we did try to go crystal panning, which didn't end up doing anything. We didn't get anything out of that. So day 4 was a lot more uneventful, but not too bad. So again, I do apologize. I missed the career, and I did not look at the festivals. And I don't know how I feel about this pack. I think it has the potential to be fun. I think if you know how to set things up and how to really use the game to its full potential, I think it could be really cool. I still am having a really hard time getting past this being a newer model of outdoor retreat, though. Like, that just... And I wasn't really as bothered with this with businesses and hobbies, because businesses and hobbies didn't appeal to me as much. Like, yes, I have it. Yes, I played with it. I've only played with it the once. I have not gone back to it. I could see myself, even if I'm not necessarily using the getaways, I could still see myself using some of the, like the archery, the diving board, the pool, the in-ground hot tub, the butterflies. Oh, I'm trying not to yawn. Sorry. I could see myself using quite a few of the things from this pack. So like I'm a lot more heated when it comes to this and Outdoor Retreat. And it's not even that I feel I'm like, how dare you replace one of my favorite game packs? Because that's not it either. I've played with Outdoor Retreat like all of once. Okay. I don't want this to become a pattern for EA. And again, now that they've been bought out by private investors, like I don't know how it will change. Again, like my hope is that someone who's truly passionate about The Sims can maybe buy out The Sims itself from EA, and like maybe kind of put it back on track, because I don't feel that the Sims team, not the Sims team necessarily, but that the Sims 4 is on track. Like they're getting so money hungry. I feel like they're just getting greedy. They're so transactional anymore. I mean, the amount of pop-ups you have in regards to buy this pack, and you even have the pop-ups in game now up in the corner that are like play with fairies and stuff like that, is to me very upsetting. And again, for this to be our third, I believe, expansion pack this year is crazy. Like, again, to me, it just comes off greedy. Not that they haven't done 3 expansion packs before, because I think there was a year, like the year that we got, oh my goodness, it's not country living, cottage living. I'm pretty sure we had 3 expansion packs that year as well, but they were a lot more spaced out, where this is only like 2 months after Enchanted by Nature. And honestly, like I felt like everything ran pretty well. I did have a couple issues with trying to get the romantic getaway started. And like my sim, when she went to the fitness retreat, she could only change into her everyday wear and her swimwear. Everything else was just the same outfit as her everyday wear, just changing hairstyles. So like there were a couple issues here and there, but like overall it ran pretty well, and I think it's okay expansion, like being expansion pack, because sometimes I feel like we get expansion packs that shouldn't have been expansion packs. They should have been game packs. It still frustrates me that we only got the 1 trait, the 2, if you want to count the child, the 2 aspirations, when typically we get more than that. So like that still irritates me a little bit. But I just, like if the Sims team really wanted to, they could still drop another expansion pack by the end of the year. And it just worries me that not only are we recycling game concepts that we already have in this game. It'd be different if this was something that we'd had in The Sims 3 and they're like, okay, now we're bringing it to The Sims 4. No, we already had a way more basic version of this in The Sims 4. I'm back around to it. I still think this could have been a really cool pack refresh for Outdoor Retreat. I just don't want to see, the quality of the game continue to slip. I already feel like the quality of the game is slipping. Like, yes, things may look beautiful, but like I still have screen flickering. Okay. I still have screen flickering. I know a lot of people had like broken picture frames in their games where they'd lost like pictures they'd had for generations. Like I think Lil Simsy had that issue. Like, I just feel like there's a lot of stuff that the Sims team needs to focus on fixing rather than continuing to push more content that they can charge you $40 for. So I I don't know. I'm very conflicted about The Sims 4 just in general, and this was prior to being bought out. I was already feeling pretty conflicted, so now I'm even more nervous. But I'm also trying to be hopeful that, again, this private investor will be like, well, I don't want the Sims games. I just want, again, I think it was the sporting titles. But they're like, well, we just really want the sport titles. We're going to sell the Sims off. And I can only hope and pray that, again, someone who's passionate about the Sims would pick it up. But I don't know. And I feel like this video has already been, it's already been plenty long. I'm losing my voice. I'm ready for bed. So I'm going to end it here. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. I would love to know your thoughts. Do you agree with me? Do you think I'm talking out of my butt? Do you think I'm hung up on things that I don't need to be hung up on? Like, are you feeling the same way? Like, I would love to know if you have the pack, what you think of it. If you aren't getting the pack, why not? Are you waiting for it to go on sale? Are you, loyal to Outdoor Retreat? Or are you just not interested? I'd love to know. So tell me down in the comments. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye, guys.